It's me, Cassie Oelberg from Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania, and I am back. Last week, I gave you a little bit of a repeat because I have been prepping nonstop for 100 advisors from across the country and 100 advisors from the US and Canada to come to a very amazing training. So it's been a little bit crazy, but that's okay. I'm here for YouTube and I could use this little creative break. So thanks for joining me today. And we are going to do a sketch 2 from the July virtual crop. The August one is coming up very fast, not this weekend, but the next weekend. So make sure you have that on your schedule. And let's hop over to my desktop. This is a very fun, very fun sketch done by my good friend, Tammy McEwen. So makes it even more fun since I know her and she's a dear friend. Okay, so this one has this beautiful rainbow going across, rainbow, there we go, starburst going across the top. I can't even use words today. And I am going to use this Fast to Fab page. I'm also getting towards the end of this album and therefore the end of the collection. So I'm going to use up some scraps and we're going to talk a little bit about how I do that. And I get a little creative doing it. So what I'm going to do is, as you can see, this sketch has part of the page showing through here. And I have this going on at the top. And I really like that. I want the whole thing to be that. Well, I have scrap paper from the collection that matches it because, as you know, every Fast to Fab collection has papers and things to match it. So we are going to use these to make the border because we're going to cover most of it up and you're not even going to be able to tell that we did that. So let's do that part first. Okay. I am just going to make it 3/4 of an inch all the way around and we're going to cover part of it up. So we're going to bring this over. And these are going to need to go down the sides. So 3/4 there. And here. And then I need it to go up and down like it already is. And this is going to go across the bottom. I'm going to piece it together. You're not going to be able to tell when the page is done. And I don't have a whole sheet. I don't want to open a whole other pack of paper because, like I said, I'm at the end of this collection. And so I want to just use things up. And I get that question so often. People are like, Cassie, what do you do when you get to the end of a collection? Well, I get a little creative about how I use up my scraps so that I don't have so much left over. So grab my handy dandy scissors in case we need those. And we're going to put these two pieces down the sides. This one's going to just go right here. See how that blends right in. And then we're going to put this one down the other side. And, you know, I love to use up a whole piece of paper. It does bring me joy, but I also like to use up the scraps and not have to open more paper and have it sitting in its little binder. Now, see, look, this one wasn't quite long enough. I knew it wasn't quite long enough, and I did it anyway. So put this across the bottom. I don't need to fill in that whole middle part because it's going to get covered, and you'll see that in just a second. So now I'm going to put this one in here, and I only need a little bit, and I don't want it to go too far over. And I'm not going to bother getting too crazy with how exact it is because a lot of it's going to get covered up. So we're just going to bring this and go snippy snip. And there we go. I could have measured and done it exact, but I'm a get it done kind of a girl. So there we go. Now we are going to build this starburst that's going to go across the top. And the first thing the sketch tells us to do is make an 11.5-inch square. So I always pull my arm up and I measure. I don't just cut a 1/2 inch off, even though I know it's 12 inches, because there is something called allowable something. Anyway, it can make the paper a little tiny bit bigger or a little tiny bit smaller. And why do that if we don't have to, right? Why not just get it to be exact since we're cutting it down anyway? And there is our 11.5 by 11.5. And now I need my scoring blade. Because next thing we're going to do is we're going to score this. And if you watch Tammy's video in the virtual crop group, I think she scored it exactly in half. I'm actually going to score it just a little bit different than half. I'm going to do 6 because I'm going to use these beautiful photos from the cathedral in Belgium, and I want to cut off as little of the top as possible. So I'm going to overlap that border sticker just a little bit, but not quite as much as she did. So there we go. So now this is our part that's 6 inches. So we want this at the bottom. Put this at the bottom. There we go, Cassie, get it right. So that goes at the bottom so that our pictures will have a little bit more room. And now we got to switch it back over to our cutting blade from our scoring. And I always just go ahead and stick that right in the bottom. Otherwise I lose it. That's why I have 2 scoring blades down here, because at one point I opened it up, I used it, and I put it back. I didn't put it back. And then I had to go open myself another one because I couldn't find it right away. And I'm not that patient. You know that about me. So I opened another one. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is cut these little strips that we're going to do in diagonals. So she said to do 2 or 3 of each one. I'm going to do 2 because I'm going to add a 3rd color in. I just have a wild hair and that's what I want to do. So I need 2 that are 2.5 by 12 and 2 that are 1.5 by 6.5. So let's go ahead and cut this one at 2.5. 2.5 again. So those are our 2 that are 2.5 by 12. And now we're going to do our 1.5s. 1.5 and 1.5. And I'm going to stack these and cut them at 6.5. Quick and easy. Okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing with this. And the reason I chose these colors, I just want to point this out real quick. Come back in a second. But this is the first sketch from the virtual crop, and I'm just going to pull it across with the starburst next. So it will be it'll be a double page layout, but they won't match exactly. They're going to look super cute next to each other, and they both have the same little backing. And so that's why I wanted to go ahead and use that. So now I'm going to do 2.5 twice. To tell you when it pops into my brain, because if I don't, anybody that knows me knows that it may not get told to you later, because I might forget. Okay. And now we need our 1.5s. We do have more of this particular paper if I need it, but I think I'm going to be okay. This is by 6.5. Stack it. I love these hearts. Oh, I fell in love with this. When this promo came out, I was like, more paper. And then it arrived and I went, ooh. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of this in. So I'm going to go ahead and do one of these at 2.5 and one of them at 1.5. That's exactly 1.5 left. Woohoo! Can't get any better than that. And then we're going to go to this at 6.5. And we're just going to add a little bit in. And now we are going to cut our diagonals. Now this is a directional paper, so we really want to listen to Tammy's tip and turn it both directions, and I'll show you that in just a second. So there it is, corner to corner. Going this way. I'm going to just pull out my little cheaters here to make sure that it's on the corner. And voila. Okay. So now we went this corner to this corner. So this time we're going to go this corner to this corner. And that way we have some papers going some different ways so that whenever we go to put it down, it's going the right way directionally. Okay. And now we're going to do our small ones. I didn't do my cheater, and look what happened, guys. See, that's why you do that. It's okay. There's a little cheat. And we're done. Okay, now we're going to just do the opposite corner to corner. And this time, I'm going to get it right. Sometimes I like to go like a little speedy bunny. And when I go like a little speedy bunny, it's not always exactly the way it should be. Okay, and now we'll do this one. My goodness, it has been so hot in Pennsylvania. My poor Bernese mountain dogs. They're like, what is going on around here? And they have been swimming. And it's so funny because my husband always says, Bernese mountain dogs and other long-haired dogs do not like to swim because their fur gets all wet. But our puppies are swimmers. They like to get in the pond. They like to get in the stream. If there is a body of water nearby, they are in it. Okay. This one, this corner, opposite. Oh, it doesn't matter. This one's not directional. Okay. Okay. Where did my last piece of pizza? Okay, almost there. Okay, those are all cut. Now, I'm sure you can go to the virtual crop group and watch this too, but you want to center this on your mat, because what we're going to do is we're going to put the first one down. And let's see, I'm going to decide where it's going to start and stop. So add some tape. And just place it. And then we're going to leave about 1/4 of an inch here. So we're going to do our next one. And it's going to come out like this. 1/4 of an inch there. Now this part, you can watch mine. You can go to the virtual crop group and watch Tammy. Lots of ways to watch this, but they're all going to come to this point here. And the important part is how we're doing it on the Fast to Fab pages. So here, oh, so cute. 1/4 of an inch. Great thing about the mat is that you can, oh, I guess maybe I should have put a small one there. Do the small one on the edges. Let's see. Small's going to be too small yet. Okay. So cute. 1/4 of an inch. I just about work. But you know what? I'm going to stick with the bigger one yet. Just make sure we cover all that. That's our hearts going the opposite way. We'll use this one. I'll be happier with it. My math brain is just having trouble with his heart's going the wrong way. Okay, so this is going to come up here like this. And now we're going to switch over to this lovely paper. So cute. So incredibly cute. I think I'm going to get 1/4 of an inch. Silly me. This is what happens when you stay up all night playing with product and getting stuff ready for a convention and filling orders and instead of scrapbooking. If you're going to stay up late, you should definitely stay up late scrapbooking, guys. That is my recommendation. Okay. Now let's put these are always so hard for me to do whenever I'm by myself. It's like I want some people in the room. But that's okay. I'll have lots of people in the room this weekend. I'll be like, why do I want all the people in the room? I'm just kidding. I would never say that. Oh. Oh, out of tape. Perfect time to show you how to refill. Did you see that? I just pulled that off. If you've never done this, it's so simple. And Creative Memories tape is absolutely the best. Been using my jumbo one a lot lately too. So if you're one of the people that likes those really big ones, we have that. Okay, so this is going to come. Oh, I forgot to watch which direction my hearts were going. Come on, Cassie. There we go. We are going to cover up where this point comes together, so that's very helpful. And this back up because it does not bring me joy to have my hearts going that way. If you were in the room with me, you probably would have been like, Cassie, your heart's going that way. But alas, I had to catch it on my own. Okay, and you're going to use repositionable tape. Make sure it is repositionable tape because then you can kind of fiddle it around to where you want it to be. So I'm going to take this, that's going to go there, and I'm going to just fudge these ones a little tiny bit this way so that the gaps aren't quite so big there. I'm going to leave the big gap be there. Okay, so once you have it down, you're going to have this funky looking starburst, and then you're just going to flip it. And first, you can just trim some off so you don't have quite so much flapping around. And these could end up being the scraps that we use on another page. And you'd really want to collect these scraps because these are from the promo collection, so you wouldn't be able to just grab another pack off the shelf unless you earned another promo. Okay. So put these off to the side and take that repositionable tape off later. But in the meantime, we're going to flip it. We're going to just slice it. So those ones come off. These ones come off. These ones come off. And voila, we have a starburst. Now we're going to take our starburst, and it's just going to go right down onto this one. Remember, we're going to put it with a border all the way around. So cute. And now I'm going to trim my pictures. And they are going to be trimmed at 3.5. I'm going to leave them 6 inches tall. So I'm going to trim here. My son and his friend were working on a project yesterday. And the next thing I know, they're over in my cabin grabbing, they call this the guillotine. And they called the other one the slicer. And they were using them to do some engineering projects. So I was quite thrilled to have the boys using the tools that I love so much. Okay, now let's go ahead and put these pictures down. There. Go here. This one's going to go right between the two. Now I am going to put a border across here and add a sticker border. So let's see. Not pick my color out in advance. So I wanted to go across it, but I think what I'm going to do is use this yellow. Half an inch. Maybe the purple. I really like this purple. Let's see, do I have enough for that? Possibly. What I do know is that I would not open a second pack of paper for a half an inch strip. So let's see if this is enough. It's trying to move on me. Okay. Take this half an inch. And that is going to go right down here. I put my hearts on their sides, doesn't it, guys? That would not make me happy either. You're right. You're right. You called me on it. We'll stick with the yellow. We'll stick with the yellow. I hear you guys in my head going, Cassie, the hearts are going the wrong way. You won't be happy. I'm going to go with that one. Sometimes I flip my paper around and I'm like, no, that, no, that. It's all so pretty. How do you decide, really? Okay. Oh, I do like that. Oh, I like that a lot. Now, it'd help if I started at the edge of the paper. Started at the edge of the cardstock. I want it to go all the way across. All the way across. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm going to add this sticker. And it's just going to go right here. Oh, that's so cute. Amy, you're a genius. Okay, and then the last thing I want to do is I want to add in this little journal box. And it'll go so nicely with the journal box from last week. that right here. And I think I'm going to mat it. Thankfully, I remembered to throw this over here, which is not always the case. So there we go. Here's my simple sleeve. I love my simple sleeves. In fact, I love them so much that when people try to order things other than simple sleeves, sometimes I accidentally get them simple sleeves because they're my favorite. Oops, you didn't mean simple sleeve? Oh goodness. I did that. I did that to my friend Janice. She came up and went to get some things, and one of the things that she had ordered was the simple pockets, and I had simple sleeves for her. It was okay. I had simple pockets too. I just went and pulled out what she really wanted. But in my brain, it had to be a simple sleeve because they're my favorite. If they're my favorite, aren't they everybody's? Okay, so this is going to go right here. Ah, yes. And voila. We quickly and easily have this beautiful starburst paper page. It looks like it took 18 billion years. It did not. It took, when was it? 25 minutes. 25 minutes. And it was on camera. So let's go ahead and pull this one over. Put them next to each other. And I really like how that turned out. Okay, you have a fabulous week. And next week I will be back and I will look a little tiny bit less crazed because all of the fun will be over. Thanks so much.